hello, and welcome to Coffee Conversation and Book Talks with Sandy. I am Sandy Sanders, and I'm the host and creator of the Book Talks with Sandy platform, where we host authors, anthology book projects. And most of all, I say that it is for you. Why do I say that? Because you just might be looking for a good book to read. I love it when I can say that because there are so many amazing authors that come on our platform. And since I've been doing this, while you all are sharing this out, since I have been doing this, many of you may not be aware, but yes, I am a 13-time best-selling author, two-time international best-selling author, and don't talk about that much because I feel like that my assignment in the earth is to make room and space for other authors once I became an author and I began to do that. And this amazing woman and woman of God, my friend, um, I am in one of her books, and she is a multi-time best-selling author, international best-selling author as well. But I have been anticipating this once we have had the opportunity to reconnect and say, hey, come on the show. I want to talk about this new book that you have. And so while we get ready to share this out, I am going to bring her on. But listen, I am super excited to have the phenomenal, yes, the one and only Sheila Farr, all the way from Biloxi, Mississippi, by way of Georgia, I want to say, but you're going to learn a lot more from her. I tell you, whenever we connected, it was like as if y'all ever watch Forrest Gump, and he says how he and Jenny, it was like peas and carrots, and it was like we knew each other. And so I'm super excited to have her here. We would be a hot mess if we were in person and doing this because you all would just be watching us have the conversation. So she's in the green room, as they say. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her in so you all can be a part of our conversation. And yes, indeed. And there she is. How you doing, my lady? How are you?
Hey there. How are you? Thank you so much for having me on the show tonight. I'm so excited to be here.
Listen, yes, we're gonna have an amazing conversation. I'm super excited for you to be here as well. And we're gonna play the intro one more time, and we're going to just drop a couple of names, get it shared out, and come back. And we're going to talk about this new book project, Unbridled. Okay. And so, yeah, I'm excited. So, y'all stay tuned. Go ahead, put the information out. Those of you that are tuning in and watching us on our Facebook channel, thank you very much. And do go ahead and drop some names in. And those that are tuning in on our YouTube channel, thank you again for being here and just being a part of our coffee conversation family. Super excited to have you here. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Okay. Yes, and we are back. Those of you that are tuning in, I'm going to bring them up a little bit closer to us. Those of you that are tuning in, yes, we're here for another episode of Coffee Conversation and Book Talks with Sandy. And tonight we have with us dear friend and a co-author in a book that we actually met through our visionary author, none other than the phenomenal Kern Crockett Cherry. And that's how we met with trailblazers who lead. Can you
That was a
remember?
while ago. How long ago? I mean, it seems like forever. I don't think it was quite that long, but it feels like a bit ago, doesn't it?
It does. It really, really does. And it wasn't that long ago. But you're absolutely right. I want to say it was in 2019.
Yeah, I think
It
you're
was around in 2019, 2020, right around in there
right.
when we first laid eyes on each other. And and I think God has just opened up our path
Mhm.
from that book, not just us, but a lot of the contributing authors that were in that book
That's right.
have done some phenomenal, phenomenal things. Wouldn't you say?
I would, and are
Yeah.
still doing it. You know,
Yeah.
they came out of the Trailblazer Gate strong, and man,
Yeah.
they've been going ever since. So yes, absolutely.
I know that's the beauty of the social media world, and we can follow each other. And as I say,
Right.
you have friends and you follow them. And so that's one of the beauties of it all for sure.
That's
Well,
right.
I am on tonight, Sheila. Thank you so much for coming through and just really just sharing who you are. And just want to share with our audience a little bit of who Sheila Farr is. You are, as many people may not know, you consider yourself an internal optimist. You are the CEO of the Gulf Coast Training and Education and Services, LLC, which is right here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast in Biloxi, Mississippi. You help small businesses and entrepreneurs overcome their obstacles and achieve their dreams by turning stumbling blocks into stepping stones. Sheila is a multi-time international best-selling author who loves to share strategies and tools that inspire and help people prompt their careers and their lives to a new level. She is a cheerleader for others, inspires and motivates people through her blog, Thankful and Blessed 365, and is the founder of Biloxi Reads. It is a literacy initiative along the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Come on and say hi to us.
Hello. I'm just so excited to be here. Thank you for that introduction, and thank you again for having me here this evening. Yeah, we were discussing it before we started the podcast, the webcast.
Yeah.
2023 has been a busy year, so we've been in a lot of places doing a lot of really great things in our community here and beyond. So I'm thankful for this book. It's kind
Mhm.
of like was the nice breath that I needed, kind of like a just to finish off the year. So I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy to be able to speak about this book and all the incredible authors that are in the book. So thank you again for having us here or having me
Abs-
here.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we go into the discussion of this particular book project, listen, you all, Sheila is a visionary author. There are several books, as we've mentioned, Thankful and Blessed, 365, that book, and Kaleidoscope. That's yours as well, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Kaleidoscope, Developing an Optimistic View, from Heart of a Caregiver. Then we have The Return to Me, My Scars Are Healed. Then the Beast Mode. Let's not forget, then there was, oh my goodness, it was the boxing gloves. I'm
Cage
trying to,
fight.
a
Cage
cage
fight.
fight.
Yes.
Cage fight, Let Go or Be Dragged. Then there was Clinging to the Vine. All of these are number one bestsellers. Then, of course, the book that you gave me the honor of being the forwarding one of your forwarding authors is A Joyful Heart. I'm telling you, all of these books, you all. So, your writing, your desire to help others pen their stories. Where did that come from? And of course, the red power suit. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So come on, these are just, and the theme of these books have different themes of them. I'm going to go back to the word of theme. So tell us, where did this inspiration of bringing authors together to share their stories? Where did that come from?
So I guess it was kicked off with Trailblazers, really. And we saw how beautifully our team came together there and how close we all stayed after the book was published. So even though we each went our various and different ways, several of us still kind of stayed in touch and did some things together. We were really collaborators, and I love that so much. So honestly, I think it was born there, and it just, all of the titles and all of the themes just come from life, right? So they come from places of prayer. They come from places of life and struggles and valleys and the hilltops too. So it's just the things that life is made of, and we hear it all the time. And I'm not sure who said it initially, but our story is somebody else's survival guide, and we need to be sharing those stories because we never know whose lives we can impact with them. So that my motivation and inspiration just was born there at Trailblazers and continues as I meet people and as I write. I have authors that are brought in by other authors to our projects. And then, the reach just grows. And I think that's the beauty of anthologies. I love them so much. A lot of people, I have a couple of like solo projects, but I haven't felt compelled to release them yet because I love anthologies so much. And I love the beauty of being able to minister to people or advocate for an issue, or even work in business, because a lot of the books that we've written, I've used in business, in my business. So I love, not just writing a book and putting it on a shelf, but keeping it alive and breathing, so I love that.
Yeah, that's key. What you just said is alive and breathing, alive and breathing, because so many times that we come across, and even as being authors myself, is that you're part of a project and you're sharing your story, and then something else will come along and you really haven't been able to nurture what God gave you the courage to write. And one of the unique things is that, yes, we can talk about the brokenness, but what I think here comes along another book that tells us how we're walking in victory, and we're walking victoriously through coming out of those things that we have overcome. And I love how I'm loving what I'm seeing is that you have this quote now that you're saying, and maybe you have a blog, of course, but one of the things that I picked up on was, I said, she's just waiting to see, tell me, and I don't want to misquote it, but you have this theme now that I think is just powerful. I love the way God works. Tell me when the Spirit of the Lord gave you that.
Honestly, I don't remember. So my story, I guess, maybe with Thankful and Blessed, and me being at coming out of a divorce and being kind of at the lowest low point in my life. And then just taking that time, actually during the month of November on Facebook, whenever you had to list things that you were thankful for, and then just really seeing that the Lord, even in the broken places, God is still in all the places. He's still in all the spaces, and everything is beautiful if you look at it that way. If you're looking for the good things to happen, the Lord opens your eyes to see the good things. And if you take the time to appreciate what he's doing in your life, you will see that every single day is packed full of blessings. So even when we're not aware of it, and even when we can't see it, he's still working on our behalf. So I love the way he works, and I love the way that he gets into a situation of ordinary people and does a supernatural work and turns us into extraordinary people. So he takes the ordinary and turns us to extraordinary. I love that.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to have this conversation of the new book. I know y'all are anticipating, you're waiting on it, and we're going to have this. I promise y'all we're gonna have the conversation. But I do want to let you know is that we are a part of the CTR Media Network. CTR Media Network is a new way of podcasting. We are a part of the CTR Media family, and our visionary, the CEO, is none other than Dr. Tina J. Ramsey. So if you will, just hold tight. I'm going to share a little clip with you, and we will be right back.
CTR Media Network is now accepting new podcasters to join our growing network that's reaching 350 million global listeners. Have you heard? CTR Media Network offers podcast production, podcast training, distribution, and product placement. Book us for your next event or schedule an interview with CTR Media Network podcasters today. To learn more, go to ctrmedianetwork.com.
ctrmedianetwork.com. Again, if you even would like to be a guest on the Coffee Conversation and Book Talks with Sandy platform, just simply go to the website and you will go to podcasters and you will find our link and just reach out to us. Or y'all know you can just reach me in instant messaging, or you can go to book talks with Sandy at gmail.com. And let's have that conversation. And if you would like to sponsor one of our shows, we have an amazing opportunity for you there as well. So without further ado, we're going to talk about Unbridle. Oh my goodness. When I read the subtitle, Stories About Running Fast Toward Your Dreams. So in this book, now I do have a question. This book comes behind because we went over some of the books, which one does this one come behind, Sheila?
Honestly, believe it or not, Red Power Suit. So Red Power Suit. Honestly, I only did a few books this year. Red Power Suit was the first one, and this is the second one. I've done a few things for other people this year, but for me, these are the two for this year.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I love the title. So this one is coming behind that, because when you think about the Red Power Suit, and we're talking about women that are either entrepreneurs or how they got to that place and what the symbolic meaning of the red suit. And there you come here with hearing, the writers, and these that I'm seeing are individuals that you've had the privilege of working with before. You've ministered to them. You had the phenomenal Cher Graham in this. Ashley Premer, she's with you. Melissa Venezuela. Oh my goodness. And she was in your The Vine.
She was in Clinging to the Vine. And
Clinging to the Vine, yes.
And Let Go or Be Dragged also. So Melissa's been with me for a few now.
Okay. All right. So this particular book here, as you all, I just want to share a little bit, and then we're just going to turn it over to Sheila so she can really share with you. This book, as she's written, is In the Quest for a Life Truly Lived, Unbridled, and in alignment with our deepest calling. This book embarks on a journey of unrestrained pursuit. It explores the essence of breaking free from constraints, whether self-imposed or societal, and running passionately toward the beckoning call of our existence to live in alignment with God, with God's call on our life. The book delves into the liberating power of authenticity, the courage required to cast aside inhibitions, and exhilaration of embracing a purpose-driven life. It emphasizes the need to run unbridled. I love it. When I saw the horses, I said, oh, where's she coming with this one? Oh my goodness. It emphasizes the need to run unbridled, not away from challenges, but toward the very essence of our being, forging a path illuminating by the radiant light of our life's true calling. I present to you at this time, come on, Sheila, if you will, let's begin to talk about that intro and bring us into what you're wanting us to really capture, even for this coming year. But we'll start with that.
Yeah. So if you're, first of all, Unbridled was actually born in 2022. So I think we were working, honestly, can't remember which project we were working on, but we were having a conversation in one of our author groups about how we place limits on ourselves. And then we go through such periods and feelings of being unsettled. And it's because we self-impose controls and blocks on ourselves. So if you know anything about horses, I used to in my former life, we used to race horses. So or raise. I know it's hard to understand me in my Georgia accent. That's RAIC, raise horses, not race them. But so if the bridle is what goes into their mouth, and it's what controls them, helps you steer the horse. So if you think about, if you've ever seen a horse that's been worked for a little bit with a bridle in, and you've ridden a horse around a little bit, one of the most amazing things is when you take that bridle out of their mouth, and after they're freed from the saddle and the bridle and all the things that are on them, weighing them and controlling them and making them do the things that other people want them to do, they run. They just run freely. They run fast. They run without constraints, without inhibitions. They do what they're supposed to do as beautiful animals of the Lord. They run with passion. So Unbridled is a book about that. It's about running fast towards your dream. Not necessarily a dream that you might plan to have, but it's that quiet little calling in the center of your heart and soul that the Lord places there because he's guiding you and leading you to the place that you belong, to your purpose, to your calling. So Unbridled is a collection of stories that allow people to share what the Lord has called them to and how they have run ferociously toward it and how it has changed them and changed other people in the process of doing that. So I love it. I love this book so much. The authors were really open, and you can tell a lot of the stories are not just heartfelt. They're people are bearing their souls really in this book, and encouraging other people to do the same. Just to break free of the things that you think you're supposed to do in life, or the things that other people have imposed on you. Stop living to please other people. Start living for that audience of one. The Lord's called us to a purpose, and he's put a passion in our hearts, and he's given us the gift of life. So why don't we live like we have that? Why don't we run freely, and why don't we quit comparing ourselves to other people and just do the thing that the Lord's called us to do? Not looking to the left or to the right, but just running straight toward the Lord and toward the life that he's called us to. And I think when we start to do those things, then all that baggage that we feel and that we carry unnecessarily so much, it breaks free, and we're able to do the things that we love to do, which in turns allow us to do more of the things we love because we're walking in the Lord's zone for our life. So it's not our comfort zone. It's the zone that the Lord's put us in to fulfill his purpose. So that's what Unbridled's about. I think I may have lost Sandy, so I'll stay here and talk a little bit about. Oh, there she is. I was still
You did
talking.
lose me, and I'm so sorry. Yes, and I apologize. Yes. So that's what happens in the real world, you all, in technology sometimes. And so, yeah, you did. You lost me there for a second. I apologize. So as you were saying, the running toward it was some as you were talking, one of the things that I heard was how important it is for us to run toward our calling. And let's talk about that.
Mhm. I think, well, I don't think it. I've seen it, and I've talked people through it more times than I care to admit to. But we bridle ourselves. We lock ourselves. We put ourselves in chains. Whenever we let those monsters of insecurity or lack of confidence, or listening to negativity that comes into our lives, or comparing ourselves to other people. We self-impose those chains and those limits on us, and we forget that we're kingdom heirs, right? We forget that we're king's kids and that we're called, to do great things. And we lock ourselves down, we get frozen. So I think having the ability and having the courage and the bravery just to say, I'm going to follow God's call on my life, regardless of what other people say, it's an incredibly brave thing, but it's such a freeing thing too, because it calls us to live the faith that we profess to have publicly, but in those private times are broken down and can't find it. It takes all that away. It pumps you up, or at least it has for me. I will say that. For me, what it's done is it has exposed the places that I was weakest in my faith and in my walk with the Lord, and it has empowered me to not give a flip about what other people say or do, but just to be focused on the Lord, just to take His hand and walk with Him. And I can't tell you. It's like,
I'm going to interject. Is that a place of freedom?
It is. It's like there's a little cartoon or something that I've seen. There's a little girl and she's holding on to her teddy bear, and she's holding it so tightly. And then there's a picture. It's her and Jesus is on his knees below her, and behind him he has this big, huge teddy bear. So he's trying to exchange the little teddy bear for something bigger and better. But she's holding on so tightly to what she has. She doesn't want to trust what he's got. So I liken it to that. It's having that faith. Enough to just run free toward the Lord and just believe the book, just believe the book He wrote for us. We write books every day, but man, we've got an instruction book, a recipe book for living that is like none other.
Yes,
if
we do the word of the Lord. I hear you now. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for coming in. When you said trusting what God has for us, and that's what this book, what you and the writers are letting us know is that you're doing it with, you're letting us know what some of the struggles were. But here is what you do when you begin to run, and not just run, but run fast. Why is that? That it's like God is shedding a light on, because you can run, you can jog, but you're letting us know what this means is about running fast towards your dreams.
Exactly. It's like we've all seen the videos of the child that sees a parent that has been overseas for a while, right? And they don't just kind of trot toward that parent, do they? They run with reckless abandon to the father or the mother's arms. So it's that kind of thing. It's running fast toward the Lord, toward where that He has placed you. And it allows you to operate with such confidence. It takes away all that insecurity and all that overthinking and all that undermining and all the negativity that the world puts on us, because when you're able to run with reckless abandon like that, man, that's supernatural power. And it's knowing that you're going after the good stuff that the Lord has, and you're trusting him to do the things and to work out the things that you can't work out. We kid ourselves and we think we have control over anything, because it's all of him and from him.
Yeah.
So the more that we're able to trust that, and I found, sometimes, just like the Bible says in Exodus, we have to take that manna just for that day. We can make plans for a year from now, but really when it comes down to it, we need that daily sustenance. We need to be relying on him and walking with him daily. And sometimes minute by minute, in some instances. But I think ultimately, whenever we're able to do that, whenever we're able to trust him in those small places and with the small things, he just heaps the goodness on us. And I think one of the important things I would love, just to remind everybody is every day is not a good day, but there's good in every day. There are always blessings. So look for those.
Look for that good in every day, because there is. Every day may not be a good day.
Right.
But there's always
goodness in every day.
Good in every day. I got to remember that one. Those of you that are tuning in, yes, we are here with my dear friend and visionary author, multi-time best-selling author. Yes, we're talking about the phenomenal Sheila Farr and her new book project called Unbridle, Stories About Running Fast Toward Your Dreams. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to let Sheila share her heart for a little bit about this book. And we want to, Sheila, the book is released. It hit number one. Yeah, it hit number one. How many categories?
We're number one new release in 3 categories, number one in 2 categories, both in Christian inspiration and Christian self-help. So that was a big deal.
Awesome. Yeah. I would think so. Absolutely. Absolutely. So at this time, you all, a couple of things I also wanted to point out, because I kind of, I have the book. I have the ebook. So I'm loving this. And all of these are some of the titles of the of Unbridled Blessing. Go light your world. Go light your world. Freedom to run. Rising from ashes. And even Ashley this is about Ashley Prima. And then I'm running with the horses. Oh my goodness. Then these are the abouts. I got it now. I'm just going through. Then we have a journey into intimacy with Father. Then we go on and we hear relentless pursuing your passion. How the colonial changed my life. And then overcoming the stronghold of rejection. My cup runs over. When I saw that one, I said, oh my goodness, I need to, because again, I got the book. And so now I've got to take some time, and holidays is here. And this is definitely going to be an amazing read. Checking my baggage. I like that one. Binding and loosing. And then we have wild and free. And then free will and unbridled spirit and spiritual enemies. Then I can't see the way that my screen is here, but then determined to determined to run. Oh, here it is. Free will and unbridled spiritual enemies. Okay. So we're going to now hear from the visionary author of the now released number 1 bestseller. And it is a 5-star rating. And that's going to be on our next part of our conversation. But if you will, stay tuned. I'm going to share this out. But at this time, I present to you the visionary author of this book, Unbridled, Stories About Running Fast Toward Your Dreams, Sheila Farr.
Yeah, thank you for that. So one thing that I really want to share about this book, well, there are a couple of things, but we have some authors that have been with us for a while, names that when you pick up the book, you'll recognize, like Cher Graham, Ashley Prima, Gloria Nesloni, Melissa Valenzuela. These are names that have seen writing with me for, gosh, a couple of years now. But we also have some brand new authors, Pam Atkins, Polly Hedge. I can't name them all. Elma Lopez. We've got so many people that are brand new to our little circle of writing, but brand new to writing as well. And what was so beautiful about this collection of authors is that you heard from the titles, everybody's story is definitely they're running toward the Lord, but they're running to and from different things, whether it be lives of addiction, whether it be overcoming rejection from family members or jobs. They're running toward the Lord, into new careers, leaving, high-paying CEO positions and walking into ministry, trusting God to be their everything, their sustenance, their provision for everything. This is reckless abandon. When you leave a high-paying job and you go blindly into ministry, just holding the hand of the Lord and saying, Lord, I know this is where you're calling me. So everything that I have is going to have to come from you. And having the faith and the trust to be able to do that, and then seeing your life just turn around and be such a bright light, as one of our authors writes about, just letting your light shine before people, just saying that, hey, God is still alive. He's still in the world. He's still doing miracles every single day. He's still in the miracle making business. We don't talk much about that anymore. We don't talk much about, how miraculous the Lord is and how he's still changing lives every day. We kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a different time in the world of Christianity. So to have women of faith come together and stand up and say, this is how the Lord changed my life for the better. And the only thing that I had to do was hold his hand. The only thing I had to do was just run after him. The only thing I had to do was touch the hem of that robe. And all of this explosion of wonderfulness happened in my life. And so the things that I used to have that used to be important to me, like the money, the titles, the cars, and all of that stuff, so insignificant now, because of what I'm doing is I'm taking people who are broken and I'm introducing them to the Lord, and I'm changing their lives for the better. And, he's coming in and he's, performing miracles, and we're seeing it. These authors have seen it and they're sharing their stories of that. They're trusting him, for things that they have lost. They're trusting them to restore their lives. They're trusting him to bring them from places of brokenness into places of shiny new mosaic lives that are just incredible. And it's an exciting time for me. Like I said, this book was born last year. We knew it was coming, but the time was just right. Like I told Sandy, it was just like, we all just needed to take a nice deep breath and just say, thank you, Lord, in this season of, Christ's birth, just to come and say, thank you. For still being a God that changes lives, and for still being a God that loves us through the tough places, and for still being a God who calls us into places of ministry and into places of service. And even though sometimes it doesn't look the way we thought it would look, it's very beautiful. It's oftentimes more beautiful than we could ever imagine. So having the opportunity to write with women who are experiencing these sorts of things in their lives is a big, big deal to me. And I don't take it lightly. I think it's a blessing. So, and to be the person who actually has people that be the person that actually has people to come to me and say, hey, I want to do this with you. I want to be part of this project with you, and share their stories about how they run toward their dreams, how the Lord planted something small within them and they really didn't know how to develop it, but they trusted him to work out the details, and he did it. So that's why I'll sound like Sandy said, I love the way God works. And that's why I say I'm a self-proclaimed eternal optimist, because I'm always looking for the God in the situation, even the tough stuff, even the bad places. because I know he's always there. I know he's always relentlessly pursuing us. And I know that he's talking to us every day if we're just able to take our own blinders off and just kind of be free to see what's out there in the world and where he's working. He gives us opportunities every day to join him in his work in places. So this is a book about that. It's a book about running fast. It's a book about joining God where you see him at work. It's about believing that he placed a dream in you that he's willing to deliver for you. So Unbridled. I hope you'll pick it up and I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you love these authors because I think they're going to be writing with me for a little bit because I just love each of them so much. And it was like every chapter that I read, I was like, oh, this is so great. Oh, this is so great. Oh, this is so great. This is going to reach so many people because it is. And even though they're all very different, the concept is still the same throughout all the stories, and they're beautifully woven together in this compilation of Unbridled. So, yeah, I hope that you'll pick it up. It should be out by the weekend. So we're just waiting for it to drop. It's there. We're just waiting. So it's going to be a really good one. And then we have some surprises for 2024. So I'm excited to share with Sandy about those things that are coming up as well. We're going to be doing some things with Unbridled. Sandy and I were talking a little bit too about, and we talked earlier in the broadcast about not just writing a book and letting it sit on the shelf. So that's one thing that I always try to encourage the folks that write with me. I'll ask them, so why are you here? What are you going to do with this book once you get it? You know, if you just want to write it and have a book, that's awesome. But if you want to have a book and do something with it, let's talk about that. And let's not just talk about it. Let's make a plan for it. So once we're through this process, we can get you going on your way with whatever it is that's next on your list. So it's exciting.
I'm so looking forward to that. One of the things that, y'all, she's amazing. I love the plan. I love what you are saying about this book. You're definitely giving us a message, Sheila, and it speaks to our spirit, man. It speaks to the urgency where we are in the body of Christ right now. And one of the things that when I heard you say the running, I wrote no hesitation. This is our time. What I'm grabbing is what the message that God is giving you to give us, that we can't hesitate anymore. If the Lord is directing us to pray for someone, we need to take heed to that unction to pray. And through the prayer, the Holy Spirit will give us what to pray for. Many may say, oh, well, I won't know what to pray. But he's telling you, pray. I need you to pray right now. And Dr. Tina, she says, that's true. And so true. So you're saying act fast. Act fast toward our dreams. Act fast, but just running toward our God, our calling.
Yes.
And thank you for this book. Thank you for compiling, you and the authors coming together and sharing the importance of running toward the ultimate is toward the Lord. And in that, we are answering the call. I like the analogy you did with the little girl and the bear. And the bear and the big bear behind God. And that's gonna stick in my mind because we serve a big God.
Yeah, and he sees all. He already knows all this.
Yeah.
And he tries to lead us into these places, and we let fear stop us, and we let the enemy come between us and all of the great things that the Lord has in store. But if we really just trust him, like I said, this year has been a lesson to me about really living the faith that I talk about every day, you know, and trusting God to be God and not trying to do his job, you know, letting him do his job and taking myself out of the way, you know, because if I'm able to do that, and this is I love the way that this is how God works, right? I love the way God works because we wrote a book called Unbridled. It's about running free, but at the same time, it's about obedience.
Yeah.
You know, it's about being control, letting God take the reins.
So it's a little
And
bit
whenever,
both in there.
hmm so
Wow.
it's really about once we relinquish control, or that fake control that we think we have over our lives, and
Right.
we allow the Lord to step in, when we're obedient to the call of the Lord on our lives,
Mm-hmm.
that's when we see the great things happen that we can't
Well,
even imagine.
and that goes back to my comment, is what I'm grabbing out of this conversation is the no hesitation.
Yeah.
The no hesitation, acting fast. Um, I'm an intercessor. I'm a prayer warrior. I believe in the power of prayer. So, just being honest, I'm driving and the Lord may say, okay, I need you. It doesn't mean for me to shut my eyes because I'm I'm driving. I can't close my eyes, but I need you to pray for that person. They be standing on the corner, or I'll begin to pray, and so out of the act of obedience, we just never know what we don't know what the reward is that God has in store for us, but He's using us. We're His vessels. We're His children. We're the ones operating in the earth. He uses us. I love it. Active fast, trusting with God. Those of you that are tuning in, you're in my conversation with my tonight's guest, and super excited that she is with us. She's talking about her latest book project. This is an anthology project that went #1. And in several categories. Yes, it is a #1 in a new release, self-help, Christian self-help book. And it's called Unbridled, Stories About Running. And we're just going to, there was one chapter, and then we're going to wrap this up. But you all look for the book. You can go to Amazon or Sheila for signed copies and things like that. I want you to share with our audience, yes, how they can get the copy of the book, and you can also go to Amazon, just simply type in Sheila Farr. You should type her name in and you'll see the plethora of books, but you want to look for Unbridled, Stories About Running Fast Toward Your Dreams. Here is the chapter that stuck out with me, is My Cup Runs Over. This is about, I had the opportunity, and not about, but by your author, Cindy Ann Rogers. I met Cindy in one of your other books, and she so impressed me because Cindy is from your area, right? Did I remember
Cindy
that?
is my cousin.
Cindy is your cousin. That's right. Okay.
Yes.
So, and I'm looking at her chapter, and yes, so she writes about as she's writing here, she says, my plans for the future derailed when I became a mother and had to start a family during my junior year of college. Nonetheless, I am overjoyed that it did. My path has not been without its ups and downs. Looking back, I know I did not always make the best choices, but I know these challenges have only strengthened me as a person. I learned that if you want something, you must put in the effort and prayer to make it happen. And you all will have to get the book to read the rest of My Cup Runs Over, one of the chapters by author Cindy Ann Rogers. Let's talk about that, because she really just blessed me. She her background is in the medical field, I believe, right? In the home health care.
Yes. So Cindy is, first of all, she is a beautiful storyteller. She's phenomenal. And she's had a love like me of reading and books from way back. And I think kind of in her heart, she always wanted to be an author. And so she joined us in A Joyful Heart. So she's been writing for a little bit of time, but then a beautiful thing happened to Cindy. Cindy kind of struck out on her own. She released her own story. And then she started a beautiful series of books called Unexpected Blessings. And so through her Unexpected Blessings series, she's got kindness, thankfulness. She goes on, and I think she's got a new one coming out too. But her life has been filled with some curveballs. No kidding. And she has just risen to the top, but she's held God's hand tightly every step of the way. So you'll see that woven into everything that she writes. She's just a beautiful storyteller. And she's just a darn nice person. She's just a sweetheart.
Yeah.
So I love her so much, but she is just phenomenal. She is. And she can tell you, she's been to some dark places, and she takes you to those places and shows you how God took her through the fire, and made her the tops, in not just in one place, but in all the places. It's just her whole life is a testimony to the power of the Lord. So.
Yeah. That's amazing. I think that is so phenomenal. I'm just putting some information here. So we're about to wrap it up here. And I tell you, we could just talk all night. I am super excited. So if someone would like to get the book from you directly, do we have that information? Or if you want to put it over in the private chat, and then we'll make sure we get that up on those that may be listening.
So they can definitely go to Amazon and get it there. Any of the authors, they can purchase from their favorite author if they want to purchase from an author. But they also can get it. Let's see. I hope I'm spelling that right. Yeah. So they can also get it at my website, gulfcoasttraining.org, through my business. All of the books are available there as well, or Amazon is an easy place to get it to. But yeah, I love this book. It's such a good book. And the authors, each of the authors are just so sweet, and their stories are so this is the first book really that I could say, if you read the story, the person, because it's that close to these people. Like, the essence of all of these people if you read the story in this book. I can't say that for all the other books that I've ever been affiliated with. But I love this. And the thing that I love most about it is a reminder, like you said, to the urgency of the Lord, but it's also a reminder that the Lord speaks to us in a lot of different ways.
And he does.
And we need to heed that message whenever it comes, however it comes. So, not putting things off in our mind to do later, but like you said earlier, stop right there, make that call, say that prayer, check in on that friend who comes to mind, because it's not coincidence that it's there.
It's not a coincidence, right? That's the key. And you're helping us. And that's it. Again, y'all know I love talking about books that should be in your toolbox, and just reading and seeing a little bit about what this book is all about. By the way, the authors, we're going to be working with Sheila. So you're going to get an opportunity to meet the authors that are in this anthology. We'll be looking at some times and dates that they can come and just share their contribution to the book. And have that conversation and be on our podcast. And so looking forward to that conversation for sure. But yeah, this is a book I believe that we really are going to want to have as a go-to, or I read the story and then be able to glean what are some of our responsibilities. I think you're bringing us back to that core thing of being part of the body of Christ. Yeah. Run.
It's good
I
stuff.
love it. No hesitation. Run toward our dreams.
Run fast towards your dreams.
Go fast. Not just run. She let me know. Right. No, Sandy.
Go fast.
You need to run fast. Well, talking about dreams, dreaming big. And many of you may have seen, now Sheila is a blogger. And that's one of the things that connected us outside of just being There I am.
There you are.
It did it again. But I don't know if you guys heard me, but I'm gonna talk not really quick, but dreaming big, thinking big, and running fast. Okay, so y'all see my blog. My blog comes every morning. It's called Transformational Moments. You all know that God gave me a word over a year ago that's talking about positive transformation leads to positive results. So yes, I am officially launching the t-shirt, and I do have it. I don't have it on tonight, but here it is. I don't know if you can see it. There it is.
I love
Positive
it.
transformation leads to positive results. So just look out for the information. This t-shirt, we'll be wearing it. The goal is that Paul says to be ye transformed. We know what the first part says, be not conformed to the world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of our mind. And so when God began to tell me about the transformation, my mindset, he wanted me to really look at 3 areas of my life, Sheila. My spiritual life, my natural life, my spiritual life. What does that look like? How much time, I may be spending my time with the Lord, going every day. Am I really putting in the time with him? Quality time with the Lord. It may only mean that you just need to add 5 minutes to your prayer time. And some people, they may pray longer than, but in other words, make it a quality, but also I always use it like this. Okay, so maybe your devotional time needs to be tweaked. Don't do like I used to do, and I'm mindful. Don't set yourself up for failure. Don't say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna read the Bible for a whole hour," but 45 minutes of it, you done fell asleep, and you only read it for 15 minutes. No, carve out that 5 minutes, that 15 minutes to spend time in your word or prayer time, or just doing something that reflects your relationship with the Lord. Then that's your spiritual walk, quality time in his word, prayer time, really getting to know God and getting to know Jesus, and getting to know God through him, through Jesus Christ. And then there's your natural life, making a positive transformation. What does that look like? Okay, that looks like that's your personal relationship, that's your family, that's your friends, that's your business. That is your goals, your dreams. Spending, how do I tweak that? And then, of course, there's your health. So these are the 3 things: finding time to rest, finding time to eat properly, working on me, diabetic. So I worked on my and y'all, I brought my A1C down. Yes.
Yay, good job.
Y'all know that was a journey. So that's what this whole positive transformation or transformational moments is all about. Using the word of the Lord, transforming our spiritual life, that it reflects God, and how that it brings about the positive results. So you'll see more and more about that. We'll be having these dialogues, these conversations. And so when you do follow me on my personal page, or we'll be talking about it more, because there will be a short conversation that you will find or hear as you're following me on my Spotify channel. And so, super excited. So coming 2024, we're going to have some things for you. And Sheila and the authors are definitely on that journey, because we've been discussing or have talked about the authors coming on, so you all can get a chance to meet them. Well, Sheila, it is always our custom here at Coffee Conversations and Book Talks with Sandy to give you, the visionary author, a chance to just again share a last thought. What would you like for us to walk away with after we have read this amazing book? And so I'm going to step away. So you all, I present to you, yes, visionary author Sheila Farr.
Thank you again. It's been such a pleasure to be here tonight. And I'm thankful for the opportunity to share about Unbridled, because it is kind of a one-of-a-kind book. I'm very proud of the authors and their stories and their willingness to kind of share how the Lord called them to action. So I really, at Christmas time, I want to put a challenge out to everybody. And what I really want you to do is just take an opportunity every day to watch for God at work in your life. And I think if you start doing that, especially at this time of year, that it'll make a huge difference for you, and you'll see that he's actually surrounding you. He's everywhere. I know a lot of times this time of year is difficult for people, me included. I lost my mom Christmas Eve, so this is always a bittersweet time of year. But I would just encourage you and let you know that even in those hard places, that the Lord is still there, that he's still real, that he loves you, and that he's working miracles in your life and around your life every single day. And whenever he calls you to action, act. Whenever those words pass your lips, I'll pray for you. Pray for that person. Don't just provide lip service to them. Really do the thing that the Lord's called you to do. And when you start to do those things, when you begin to do those small things, when you take those baby steps toward the Lord, you will be surprised how he will just open the floodgates for you. And he will just not only give you opportunities to do more, but those blessings will come, and you'll see where you're blessing other people. And to me, that's the biggest blessing, is to be a blessing to other people. Because that's what we're put here to do, right? We're put here to love one another and to do good things for each other and to take care of each other. And to me, that's the unrelenting running. That's the running fast toward the Lord. Just trusting that he's going to be with you every step of the way, that you're going to show up each day and be on mission for him. Not kind of dragging into your day like, oh, another day, another dollar. But you're going to pounce out of bed in the morning ready to jump into action as a soldier of the Lord. And in doing so, you'll find that your life becomes free and just so exciting. And I always say that it's an adventure when you live your life with the Lord, because you never know what he's going to call you to do. So I would just say, be ready. Be ready. We don't talk enough about being ready anymore, I don't think. So I would just encourage you to do that. And please watch for the authors when they come in January to get on here and share their stories. And I promised that I was going to share a little bit about a surprise that's coming in 2024. So I'll do that now. I'll tell you, a couple of weeks ago, we had our annual authors showcase. We kind of gather here in Biloxi. I put out an all call, hey, any authors that want to come and share your books, come on and let's do it at my place of business. And we had some authors come this time. Some have been there since this is the third annual, so they've been here all 3 years. Some were brand new. And we began to talk about the books, everybody's books that we were featuring that day. And for the first time, I haven't done this before, but this year I actually put some of my books out too, because I always feel like I want to showcase other people, but this year just felt like I needed to be involved in it too. And I wanted to share because not a lot of the people that were there were in my book. So I wanted to be sure that these messages got out too, because they're really great, especially at Christmas time. But one of the books that's really near and dear to our heart, you probably heard Sandy talk about it already, is Cage Fight. So we began to talk about Cage Fight, and Cage Fight is a book about overcoming the mental battles in our minds that we have. So I don't know if you've ever experienced this, maybe overthinking or insecurity, or, you kind of talk yourself in and out of things and your mind just doesn't shut off. And oftentimes that impedes you from doing the great things in your life. It can stall your relationships. It can impede your ability to show up for work 100%, or, it can damage relationships. When you overthink and your mind is perpetually in motion without taking that time out to kind of be reflective and in prayer, it can get you into trouble because we get so spun up in our minds. So Cage Fight is a book about overcoming that battle with our mind. So some of the authors were talking and they said, we didn't know you back then when you did Cage Fight. We think it's time for you to do a part 2. And I was like, maybe, I don't know. I hadn't really thought about, I've never done a sequel book and never really thought about it. But they came up with a really great title, Cage Fight Rematch. So I think in 2024, you're going to see Cage Fight coming back and Cage Fight Rematch coming to life with some of the authors from the first book and some new authors too. So I'm pretty excited about that. But I will say, Cage Fight's a book that's gone to a lot of places. This is one of those books it's been in mental health associations. It's been a Bible study. It's been a business, mental health at work study. So this is a really great book. It's been a lot of places. It's done some really good things, and we've sold over 5,000 copies of that book. So it's been a really popular book. So if you're looking for something to kind of help you overcome that battle in your mind, this is another collaborative work of people who really have gotten out and told some stories of resilience and just unwavering faith and the way that they followed the Lord. So I would encourage you to, think about that one as well. So thank you again, Sandy, for the time and for the opportunity to be here and share a little bit about this new book, Unbridled, and some things that are coming up for 2024 as well.
Yes, indeed. I am so looking forward to that. Oh gosh, what a way that we are ending out our 2023 with some amazing book projects we hear on Book Talks with Sandy there. And it's interesting that because I'm formulating something that I think is going to be phenomenal. And so those of you that do look for our show and so you're noticing more and more that I'm here on Tuesday evenings and Thursday evenings, and then we do replays on Saturday. So what we're going to be doing, we're putting it together now, is the book of the month. Because the reason why I say the book of the month is because it may take you a minute before. So a lot of the authors that you all will be seeing throughout the year of 2024, should Lord tarry and he don't come back for us, that we're going to be having more of you as the readers. You'll have more of an opportunity. We'll be doing some readings. What does that look like? That the authors will come on and read their chapter. So the book of the month. And so you'll be hearing more about that when we get ready to release it. I wanted to write that more like our podcast, not so much as our stream live, but our podcast will be doing that. So lots of opportunities for you all. As I tell you, you just might be looking for a good book to read. Well, this is the perfect opportunity, not just for you to be a listening, supporting audience, but to actually get the book in your hand or in your device. You may not be one to collect the actual book, but you may want to have the book in your Kindle or your laptop or your phone, whatever way that you can just take a moment. And then it's nothing like a reading. It's nothing like the Audible. Okay, so there's the Audibles, but this is something similar, but you're going to actually hear the authors share their part and do some readings on our show. So I'm looking forward to how we formulate that, how God's going to bring that about. I believe that's really about it. I do want to share that I'll be back on Thursday night. Our upcoming author, her book is not coming out until March, but we're going to have the conversation. I've had her on the show before, and she's coming back with volume 2. So I just one more. We're going to step back so you can see. This is Dr. Kenyatta Rucker. And I'm super excited. So yeah, we'll be back on Thursday night with Dr. Kenyatta and talking about women in tech. This is the book of women in the technology field. And I always enjoyed that conversation.
That's going to be a good
Yeah,
one.
yeah. It really is. Yeah, I think they went number one in the volume one. In fact, they did go number one.
That's great.
And so looking forward to the information of these women that are in the field of technology and how they talk about, they were not invited to the table,
I'm
not
sure.
welcome to the table either.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how much we've been taking, they've opened up opportunities. So we're going to wrap it up here. Any last words? This is it.
No, I just, again, thank you for sharing your time and your space with me. I appreciate that so much. And I would just encourage the audience not to forget my challenge every single day. Watch for God at work in your life. And I bet you'll be amazed.
Yes, the challenge is, come on, tell us one more time.
Just watch for God at work every day in your life.
Yep.
Watch all the places that you see him and opportunities that he provides for you to step up and be close to him.
Oh, I love it. And as she says, I love to see how God works. Definitely. All right. We need to take that motto as well. Well, I'm Sandy Sanders, and the host and creator. And as always, you guys know that I love you. God bless. And have an amazing evening and happy holidays. And remember, positive transformation leads to positive results. Y'all take care. All right. Sheila, stay with us.